spaces, no kings, to 59798. You will get more alerts about things happening around here, okay? That is going to connect you to future events and actions, okay? Yes, it's no kings to 59798. No kings, 59798. There is, real quick plug, we have a pride table. We have a North Iowa Impact Team and food donation table if you'd like to donate there. And then we have petitions for Nathan Sage. He is running against Joni Ernst. Signing a petition does not mean that you support that candidate. It just means that you want him on the ballot. So that doesn't mean that you have to vote for him or anything like that. It just means that you're okay with him being on the ballot against Joni Ernst. Because we all don't have to die right now, right? We are being ruled over by a wannabe dictator, and we're not going to sit idly by anymore. That's why all of you are here today. It's so good to see so many faces. We're not going to sit by while our rights are taken away from us. We have some great speakers lined up today. I have been looking for Artie this morning. Artie, are you here? All right. Artie Jones is a longtime Teamster, a union advocate who's been representing workers here in North Iowa for quite some time, and he is going to talk with you first.
I've represented 27 different groups in North Iowa since 2006. Those groups are represented under a collective bargaining agreement. I negotiate wages and working conditions for over 300 people covered under those contracts. I was raised in a union household. My mother was a Maytagger for 23 years. My father was a UAW member for 43 years. I became a Teamster in November of '95 while working at Cornell College as a custodian. In the 30 years I've been involved in the labor movement, there is no sitting president that has eroded the American labor movement and discounted the working class like the current president. The Teamsters were founded in 1903, bringing together and fighting for the working class. Teamsters sought to make the labor organization inclusive, not exclusive. Inclusive of national origin, gender, and sexual orientation. All labor organizations are rooted in a democratic principle. Fair and open elections, free of corruption, and the privilege of every voice as a platform. We in the labor movement unite to make sure the working class has a voice that is heard. With 1.3 million members across the great country, Teamster voices are heard. The Department of Labor was founded to support and strengthen the American workforce. Strengthening something that seems to be impossible for the current administration to understand, let alone possible, or build on. Continues to attempt to erode the very foundation that the American people have fought. I, for one, will not stand for this, which is why I accept it here today. The current president has done everything in his power and outside of his power to move from the democracy of our nation was founded on to the supreme leader, like his friend. I firmly believe that together, we, the American people, will have our voices heard. type of venue to show your outrage for the current president. The president that would be like a king rather than an elected official who is supposed to be serving the American public and the people that go to work every day to put food on the table and try to make ends meet.
No Trump! No Trump! No king!
Organized labor, especially the Teamsters, will continue to fight and lead the charge against any elected official.
Thank you.
Sorry. Organized labor, especially the Teamsters, will continue to lead and fight the charge against any elected official that would rather be a king than serve the people they are supposed to represent. We the people will continue to fight to make our voices heard and to prevent the wannabe king from asserting his power over the people of this great country. I encourage you to fight back and make your voices heard.
Thank you so much, Artie. Real quick, I forgot to say this at the top. We are here to be peaceful today. We are here to not start anything other than our voices, okay? There are multiple people live streaming this from all different angles, so I promise you, no matter what side you're on, if you are violent, it will be on film. So just keep that in mind, okay? All right. Next up, I'm actually going to say a few words. My name is Jen Cooley. Some of you might recognize me from Joni Ernst Town Hall a couple weeks ago in Parkersburg. Let me tell you a little bit how I ended up right here today, because it's an interesting story. Or maybe it's not, I don't know, we'll find out. I moved to Mason City in 2015. You know, the good old days, like the Obama presidency. Fortunate enough at that time to be privileged enough to not really give a crap about politics. I didn't pay much attention to anything, and I didn't know what I didn't know. And like most of us, I went into the 2016 election thinking there is no way in hell Donald Trump was going to become our president. And then I watched in horror with all of you as he did. And what did I do then? You're probably thinking I got like riled up and started doing some activism. No. I sat at home and I raged and I ranted on social media and I internalized it and I took it out on the people that I love, and that's about it. And then 2020 happened. That was a horrific year with COVID. We watched George Floyd be murdered on the street. And then we had Biden get elected, and we all thought, hey, things are maybe getting better, right? Then January 6th happened. We watched one of the worst domestic terrorist attacks on one of our most sacred buildings happen right in front of our eyes on live TV, just like we had watched George Floyd. I was still privileged enough at that moment to think, you know what, though? Biden's in office, Trump's gone, we got this. Things are going to turn around. Boy, was I wrong. I spent the next 4 years thinking we were going to be fine, and there's no way in hell Donald Trump was going to get elected again. And then on election night, like everyone here, I watched in horror as he was. So you probably think, yeah, that's when she got fired up and started coming out here. No. I was still privileged enough to not do that. I shut down. I went into self-preservation mode. I don't know if anybody else did this, but I deleted all the social media off my phone. I deleted all the news apps off my phone. I refused to watch television live because I didn't want to know. I was not going to be blindsided again by anything. I watched TV shows that I've seen 1,000 times, and everything was safe. But was it? No. After Inauguration Day, I started hearing trickles about all of the insanity happening in just the first few days. And so I started to reconnect. And I got on this Facebook group that I'd been a member of since 2016. And I said, hey guys, is anybody doing anything to fight back? I got crickets. Then a couple weeks later, in late February, I came across this post on the North Iowa Dems page, and it basically said, hey, we're having a protest at Central Park on Saturday. You people need to get your asses out there and do something. Being in the unhealthy state that I was in, I objected to the tone of this message and bickered with someone who is now a good friend of mine about that tone. But you know what? I showed up anyway. Do you know why I showed up? Because I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that tone. I needed someone to tell me to get off my ass and do something about this administration. So I did. I came out to a protest right here on the streets at the end of February, and I keep showing up every week since then, if I can. Because the tyranny and the hatred and the cruelty of this Trump administration are not going to go away quietly. Because I believe that every human should have the same rights. I believe that every human should have housing and food and clothing. I believe that every human being should feel safe and secure in their living environment, whatever that may be. I believe that every single human being should be allowed to love whoever they want to love. I have this naive dream that one day, every day, will be like a pride event where everyone is accepted for exactly who they are every day of the week, all year round. With how many people have showed up and shown out today. But here's what I need. Here's what I need from you. I need you to keep showing up. I need you to do what you can, when you can, and then do a little bit more. We need you to get uncomfortable because there are people uncomfortable right now. There are people sitting in prison, jails, El Salvadorian prisons. There are people hiding from ICE. There are people that are uncomfortable, more uncomfortable than us. So we need to make ourselves uncomfortable. This is not hopeless. We cannot cave. We cannot be fearful. We have to continue to fight. There are so many opportunities for you to put yourself out there. Write letters, call people, protest every Sunday, excluding tomorrow, every Sunday from 12 to 1, we are right here on this sidewalk protesting. Every Sunday, come out, join us. We are fighting for everyone's rights, even those people back there screaming at us, we're fighting for their rights too. Show. If you can, if you are able-bodied, you need to march with us when we're all done here. We are going to march. You can follow the crowd. If you were here last time, it'll follow the same route. But ultimately, we need you to come out. We're going to keep coming out and protest here until either we fix this problem or someone physically stops us from coming out. We want you to join us in this fight, not just today, but every single day. Thank you. Next up we have
Yep, absolutely. So I had to go a little old school, new school today because my printer didn't work. So it's on my phone. And I'm still getting used to this. So I want to thank you for inviting me. Take it off.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that then. So I'm used to speaking in front of 300 people at a time. The problem is none of them are over 11 years old. So you'll have to give me a break here. But I want to thank the committee for organizing this event and inviting people. Let's give them a round of applause. And Artie, where is Artie? did he have
I
to
think
leave?
he had to book it.
So I just want to thank Artie because, for those of us that are of a certain age, there was a time when supporters of immigration and supporters of unions were not always on the same page, and that's no longer the case. They're absolutely hand in hand. I read an article yesterday that about 15% of all labor union membership now is immigration. People are immigrants from other countries. I'm also blessed. I have 2 children who came over from other countries that we adopted along with our other. We have a lot of kids. We have 10. We have 10 kids. So I know. No, it's great. It is great. And I'm still raising kids and I'm retired, so I get a Social Security check and paying tuition. So that is what it is. But I'm going to move this a little bit. And I want to just reiterate what Jen said, and I was going to say something if she didn't about the tragedy up in Minneapolis. Hate never wins. It sometimes has small victories, but it never wins in the long run. This hate doesn't win. This hate does not win. And we all know and have grown up with and are friends with a lot of people who belong to a different party. Okay, they do not hate. Okay, this is hate, and we just can't. We're not going to go there. So please continue to be peaceful. Continue to be supportive. We all saw what happened on January 6th and what transpired after that, and how now it's like that never happened. We all saw it. We saw the news in real time. We saw what happened. My old boss stopped. We were in a meeting, and he stopped and said, "We have to watch this because we can't forget what happened today." So thank you for that. So I have a personal experience with this stuff in LA, this unrest, which is what it is. My oldest son lives about 3 miles from downtown LA, and he said, if I didn't have the news on, I wouldn't know anything was happening. This is not a revolution. This is not an overthrow, an insurrection. This is not sterilizing the U.S. National Guard or the California National Guard or the U.S. Marines. These are a few people who are protesting and a few knuckleheads that are doing stupid things. And if they do stupid things, they should get arrested just like all of us who do stupid things get arrested. Yep. Right? Yeah. But I told him yesterday, I said, well, Kristi Noem says, and I want to get her quote because I don't want to get it wrong. She said that she is getting ready to, they are liberating the people of LA from their mayor. No, she said this yesterday. That's what Senator Padilla got so upset about. She said that they are liberating, it's about time, she said, they're liberating the people of Los Angeles from the mayor, the city council, and the governor of California. Well, apparently someone forgot to mention to Ms. Noem that the mayor was elected by the people of California, the people of Los Angeles. The governor was elected from the people of California, and they don't want her there. They don't want the National Guard federalized. They don't want the Marines there. They don't need them there. They're just doing their job. The National Guard guys, the Marines, men and women, they do a great job. They don't want to be there. They do not want to be there. But you know what? That's just the way it is right now. Hopefully that will get resolved. But my son called me, and I asked him if he was ready to be liberated by Kristi Noem. He said, yeah, but who's going to liberate me from Kristi Noem? So what we have to do is, unfortunately, and I think I got the number right, we've still got like 1,100 days of Donald Trump. But you know what? I agree, 100%. We cannot fix that. Okay, we can't fix that. But we only have 18 more months of Joni Ernst if we truly get on it. We only have 18 months of Ashley Hinson if we get on it. And we only have 18 months of COVID Kim Reynolds. The least popular governor in the state, in the country. The least popular governor in the country. We're going to elect someone who will replace those people in each of those events, in each of those offices, and hopefully they will be able to turn that. All you have to have is a majority in the House to stop 95% of what's going on from happening. Yeah. That's like 4 people. That's like 4 congressmen. We've got 4 in Iowa. We can get rid of them all and work for them. And I'm going to put a plug in for the teachers. We have any teachers here? School board members? So I watched with alarm the last 2 years as the state legislature, against the wishes of most Iowans, by the way, are now funding $250 million every single year into our tax dollars going into private schools. And you know what? That's one thing. It's okay. You know what? They get the money. It is what it is. But here's the deal. As a principal and as a teacher, you know, they don't have to follow the same rules. They don't have to have the same education. They don't have to have a license. You don't have to have a teaching license or administrative license to teach in a private school. You don't have to follow any of the rules. All the things that they're making us do now, the banning of books and the teaching the Bible and all the classes, they don't have to do any of that. They make us do that and pay for it and have teachers hired who deserve every penny they get, by the way. Don't get me wrong. They deserve every penny they get. But we don't. Those tax dollars, can you imagine that's $1 billion. By next year, that's $1 billion that we could have put into this state funding for education that it's gone. That money's gone and it's gone forever. It'll never get that back. You need new legislators in Des Moines as well. Yeah. I think I saw Amanda Reagan here. I saw Sharon for sure. Hi, Sharon. People like Sharon Steckman and Amanda Reagan, we need people like that back in Des Moines. So the goal next year, so that's only a year away now, next November, to get rid of the Republican representative from our Mason City. We have more Democrats in Mason City than Republicans, and yet we elected a Republican. Why? And again, I'm sure he's a nice person. I don't have anything against him, but he's not from Iowa. He's never lived in Iowa as an adult. He's never been in Iowa as an adult. He's never lived in Mason City. Okay, he got $60,000 from outside PAC money and other things, almost all of it from outside Mason City, and now he's our representative. To keep going, to keep this voucher thing going, plus all the other crud that they're doing down there. So let's get rid of Christian Hermanson. All right, thank you all, thank you all.
Thank you so much, Mark, for coming out and talking today. We really appreciate it. Real quick, I want to plug, again, we have Pride Table, North Iowa Impact Team donations, Nathan Sage petitions. Oh, if you need to register to vote, we have people that can help you with that. If you're not registered to vote, please get registered. Last up, my dear friend, Kaylara Hoadley, is going to talk and read a poem, I believe, that she wrote for Adriana Smith. I'm going to let her elaborate.
Hello, greetings. You guys see me running around here like crazy. My name is Kaylara. I am your friendly neighborhood activist. So, if you look up activist in the dictionary, it says a person who uses or supports actions in support or opposition of a controversial issue. Donald Trump, right? So, I want all of our first timers, if this is your first time at a rally, at a protest, I want to see your hands up in the air. This is your first time out. Yes! Congratulations, you are now an activist. You're an activist. You're an activist. Yes! Thank you. So, one of my biggest whys comes from my time working in healthcare. And I want to make this clear, I am not a paid protester. I am local. So I want to do another show of hands. If I have taken care of you or a family member or a loved one in North Iowa in the healthcare area, I want you to raise your hand or clap. Thank you. So, also, I am looking, I see people out in the area that I know, that I'm familiar with. This is my home. This is my community. North Iowa is in my blood. I worked in OBGYN, and I was bedside for women in their most difficult time of need. technical difficulties here, sorry. So first off, I want to recognize every single woman in the audience. Let's go ahead. And then our men and other friends that support those women. Where are you at? Thank you. So, every single person in this crowd knows a woman, loves a woman, and has been cared for by a woman. Have you guys heard of Project 2025? You guys heard of it? Yeah, you. Perfect. Okay, so let me rephrase that. Everyone here knows a uterus, loves a uterus, and has been cared for by a uterus because that is how this administration treats women. From trying to suppress our vote with the SAVE Act to attacks on reproductive health, Iowa is one of the last states for access for women with reproductive health care and maternal health care.
Let's not lose it.
Yes, exactly. We have to fight. We have to be loud. In 2022, Trump-appointed judges overturned Roe versus Wade, and that was the testing waters and set the stage for where we are now. It put the power back in the state's hands. Iowa and Georgia's heartbeat bills mirror one another closely, both at 6-week bans. If you guys are in touch with the news at all, you may have heard of Adriana Smith. She is a 30-year-old woman from Georgia. She could be from Iowa. She's a mother of a 5-year-old boy, and she's a dedicated nurse at a university hospital. Was. Adriana went to the ER for a severe headache in February. Her condition worsened rapidly, and she was ultimately declared brain dead. Tests revealed multiple brain bleeds and that she was approximately 8 to 9 weeks pregnant. Today is June 14th. Adriana is now 6 months pregnant. Her fetus has confirmed developmental delays and concerns, but the state of Georgia is keeping her on life support until they are done with what? Her uterus. How long before this happens in Iowa? I know this is uncomfortable, but we have to talk about this. How many women? I've been walking around. I saw a blanket full of small girls here. That is what we are here fighting for.
Yes.
Our future, our freedoms, our rights. So, I have always been a very creative writer, a very empathetic feeler. So I want to read you guys something that I wrote when I found out about Adriana Smith. Adriana Smith, say her name. They say I was born from a rib, but I've been breaking bones ever since, cracking open my spine to carry children and generations of grief. I am a mother in Iowa, in Georgia, in the age of iron laws, where breath is politics and a womb is a battlefield conscripted without consent. Somewhere, a woman lies still, warm only because a machine wills her to be. She is not sleeping. She is not dreaming. She is a cradle made of flesh, no longer a voice, just a vessel. They call it life. I call it a crucifixion in slow motion. They nailed her to her biology, called it sacred, and walked away. Roe is dead, buried without ceremony, while we bleed in parking lots and black at back alleys, silent in bathrooms with our hands over our mouths, because screaming is now illegal too. They want us quiet, compliant, captive, barefoot in kitchens, numb in maternity wards, erased from boardrooms and textbooks, and laws written by men who will never feel a contraction or cradle a stillborn truth. But I am a woman, which means I am both wound and weapon. I have sewn torn hearts together with lullabies. I have nursed justice on my chest and raised a child in a world that tries to shrink them, shape them, and silence them. But I teach them, and we teach them, that love is louder. We are tired, but we are not finished. We are not just mothers, we are the storm after the silence. The hands pulling each other from the fire, the names carved into these protest signs, and whispered, yelled at vigils. You can outlaw our choices, but you cannot outlaw our memory. You cannot legislate our love, and you cannot bury us in silence. We are rising, we are marching, and we are unbreaking. Even as they try to make tombs of our bodies, we turn them into temples of resistance. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaylara. That was incredible. All right. One more time, I'm going to plug the SMS opt-in. No Kings, all capital, no space, 59798. If you don't follow North Iowa Fights Back on Facebook, please do so. And then I'm going to open this up. Does anybody want to speak that is here? Does anyone want to participate?
Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Justin Paulson. I was mostly just here because I own a PA system and I believe in all this stuff, so I was just kind of a cog in the wheel, but I've been moved today, you guys. How about it, huh? I'll keep this really short. Some of you may recognize me. I'm a local stand-up comedian. Some of you may just recognize me as that dude that looks like this in your community. Either way is fine. It's just good to be noticed. But the reason I decided to speak is because one of my best friends in the entire world, who I've known since 3rd grade, who is from Mason City, Iowa, is running for Senate against Joni Ernst.
Yeah!
Yes, absolutely. He has people at 20 different rallies today in Iowa looking for signatures because he has to prove he's even available to be on the ballot because the Republicans don't want Democrats on the ballot. So, I'm like you guys, I'm just a normal dude, but I'm sick of waking up every morning and turning on the news and thinking shit can't get worse. And then there it is, you know what I mean? Every single day, you think the bar can't get lower, and it gets lower every single day. And like I said, I'm a stand-up comedian, and I make my money by being the fun time guy that everybody likes. And like Jen, your host, I sat back for most of my 9-year career as a comedian, trying not to piss off the Trump people, because I'd rather they buy a ticket to my show. And I'm not gonna do it anymore, guys. I'm not gonna do it. Because mostly, guys, to be honest with you, I'm sick of dudes that look like me and think like me and love like me, making people that don't feel like they don't belong if they don't look like me and think like me and love like me. I'm totally sick of it. And I don't want to be lumped in because of the way that I look and who I choose to love and make anyone think that I don't think that they're just as important as anybody else. And anyone who, you know what I mean, isn't a white, straight male, know that there's way more of us that care about you guys than stupid people that would rather stand in the back, you know what I mean, and just yell nonsense. So, that being said, guys, the main reason I decided to come up and say a quick word is we have, right over here at this table, my lovely wife is over here, we have a folder for every county. If you're not from Cerro Gordo, we even have a miscellaneous one if your county's not over there. We're looking for 3,200 signatures statewide to get Nathan on the ballot, to get Joni Ernst out of there. He wanted me to let you guys know that he promises never to do a town hall where he says everybody's gonna die. So, for no other reason, I think let's get him on the ballot, guys. Enjoy the day. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a nice day.
Hello. My name is Desire. My last name is Castillo. It's a Spanish last name. And if you look over at these veteran monuments over here, my great-grandpa, my abuelo, he turns 99 next month. His name is on those monuments. Okay? His wife came here illegally. Okay? My grandpa and his siblings, they taught their children not to speak Spanish because they're scared of what was happening, what the example of what's happening with ICE today. Okay? So that my parents and their siblings could feel safe enough in Mason City, Iowa, to feel like a normal person. They were not taught Spanish. We do not celebrate our roots as much as we could, but my grandfather's name is on that. He fought for this country. And everybody here, whether they're here uncivilly, not illegally, uncivilly, or they're here legally, they've come here for a reason, and they deserve the kindness and the love that we show to every other single person in our community every day. I just want to thank you guys for coming out. I know that this is not exactly what it's for, but with the ICE raids happening, it is absolutely disgusting to see people being treated this way, and I know you guys agree.
And that is exactly what this is for.
I just want to say thank you. A huge shout out to North Iowa for putting this on. You guys are amazing. I accept you as my family. Man, I'm so thankful for you guys. I just can't, yes, that's all I can say. Thank you.
We're happy you're here. Thank you.
My name's Susie Emerson. I've been a long-time Democrat all my life. I remember when I was 12, an election, I can't remember which one it was exactly, but my friend is Republican, and we were on the phone with each other as we watched the states decide who was going to win this election. Nowadays, it's a taboo to talk about politics in public. And I think that's something that we need to end. We need to start talking about the issues in public to people that are Republicans or whatever side you're on. This has gone on too far where, shh, don't talk about it. Shh, don't talk about it. We all need to talk about it. I don't care if it's in a bar, if it's in church, when you're done with church, when you're walking out of the building, anywhere, everywhere you go, we need to start talking about this. This can't be taboo anymore. We gotta let them know we're mad.
Thank you so much. Anybody else? Yes?
Hi, my name's Ash Ricky. I am a non-binary kid from a very small town, and I lost faith in this state when it was red during the election. But seeing all of you here with the flags and everything, you instilled my faith back. Thank you for showing that there is still some faith in this country. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Anyone else? What I would like everyone to do, oh, sorry, Sam.
Hi, my name is Samantha Smith. I've been a North Iowa resident. I've been a resident of Mason City for over 30 years. And I want to thank all of you for coming out today and helping us raise awareness for everything that's going on, because one of the things that happened to me when I grew up in the 90s, and it was a time when there were things that were starting to be said, but they were still very discouraged. And it was a time when gay became synonymous with the generalization of something bad. And in that environment, I grew up with an incongruence that I didn't know how to deal with. And now that I'm older and I've learned a lot more, and trans people, queer people, gay people, all of that has become more acceptable among the general public, I found who I am. And I want to have that be available to every child that is here in this state, in this country, and we won't let anybody stop us from protecting our kids.
That's right. Thank you, Samantha. Could I have everyone hold up their signs? We want to get a bunch of photos, so hold up your signs, everyone. Got some great signs out there. Thank you, everyone. Does anyone else want to say anything before we start marching? Okay, So I think we are going to start marching here in a few minutes. Bear with us. We have a route. If you were here last time, we're going to follow that same route. If you were not here, just follow other people. Find someone in a pink vest. We want to encourage everyone to be very careful crossing streets. We are not jaywalking. We are not standing in roads. We are following laws. So please, please be careful. We're going to march down and we're going to protest for about 20 or 30 minutes at the four corners. And thank you all for coming. Please, 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 if you're able-bodied, march with us. Show your support, please. And we're not being paid. Nobody here is being paid. I don't know why I have to say that. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for listening to us.
Wait a minute.
We're supporting democracy.
Yes. Wow.
Stay in the crosswalk. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for supporting democracy. All right, that's it, guys. That's it.
This is not normal. Yep. Hi. Hey. Good for you. Thanks, Sharon.
I know, but I have to. I had a chance to hear you on the chant. Yeah. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy